call to, whoa, that's loud. I call to order the school committee meeting of July 20th, 2026. If able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's start with roll call, please, Ms. Genthner.
Bess Coughlin.
Here.
Chris Oliver.
Here.
Kathleen Amaral. John Nunes.
Yep.
Mary Beckwith.
Here. This meeting is being recorded. It will be rebroadcast on DCTV and may also be streamed on their YouTube channel. We have allowed, moving to public comment, we have allowed 10 minutes for public comment from the audience on any topic on this evening's agenda.
Speak at once, okay.
Appearing that there's none, we will move to approval of the minutes. I am looking for a motion to approve the regular session minutes of June 8th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Noon, second by Ms. Coughlin. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. 4
4-0.
and 0.
4-0.
0. I am now looking for a motion to approve the executive session minutes of June 8th, 2026.
So moved, Madam Chair, with the stipulation for which they were intended is complete.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Noon, second by Ms. Coughlin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Now move to new business. We begin with revisions to the student handbook. Dr. Saber-McGuire.
Yep, I'm going to invite Kim Redlawn, who represented us from the district level on the handbook committee. And I know she's going to go over some of the highlights of some of the changes, nothing too significant, but we wanted to bring these changes to your attention. I'd also just mention, because I see Ms. Parisi just walked in, and I know that Ms. Redlawn and Ms. Parisi had some conversation earlier about how moving forward, as we continue to look at our handbook, that we would be sure that we have teachers at the table with us. And so this isn't done. This is just something that we needed to update, and I thank Ms. Redlawn for taking the lead on this, so I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
How are you? Okay. So like Dr. Saber-McGuire said, every year our handbook needs to be revised and updated. So this year we really looked at making sure that our revisions matched the regulations, laws, different things, and just were updated to ensure that our policies were updated. And next year, we will be looking for a more robust committee and really diving deep to make sure that all of our levels, elementary, middle, and high school, are really being aligned, and we're really strengthening our handbook as we move forward. But just for this handbook moving into this year, our committee comprised of Mr. Rossi, the old principal of the middle school. He was our chair. Justin Zexter, assistant principal at the middle school. Sam Madden, assistant principal at the middle school. Michael Martin, assistant principal at the high school. Graham Coogan, assistant principal at the high school. Myself, as Dr. Saber-McGuire said, from the district level. And then Dr. Rebecca Hurley, assistant principal at Quinn, representing from the elementary level. So our timeline for revisions and meetings. So we started our committee in February. We met as a committee in person 3 times for at least 2 hours each time. We always allotted 2 hours, but we're there more than more than the 2 hours. And then we asked each building principal to choose a teacher representative from their building. I had reached out to them and asked them if they could take a look at the draft and give any feedback. It was towards the end of the school year, so we got some feedback from a few of the teachers which had gone into this draft. Again, looking for more representation from the buildings for next year. And then once the feedback was applied, then it went out to central office to get more eyes on it, feedback, and then out to you guys for final look through and approval. So, you know, updates and highlights from kind of surface level, updated obviously the administrator information pages, added visuals for the strategic plan dashboard and portrait of a learner. We thought those were important to be in there. Updated the school hour grid that was there to include the new preschool times. And a lot of the information we did not change, but we reorganized and reworded. So the arrival and dismissal, bus information, and the walker information, same information, but reorganized it and reworded it so that it just flowed a little better. There was a section on school shadowing, so we reworded that so that it was a little bit more inviting. Student support services, we removed some of the information from that section just to condense it down a little bit. And then the academics resources section, reorganized and reworded that. We added a cell phone use section that wasn't in there prior. We reworded the student dress code section, and then reworded and organized the student conduct section, adding a progressive discipline section. Added alternatives to suspension section, reorganizing the suspension section so that it kind of flowed in the order that it would, you would, I guess, access it if you were accessing the discipline section. More explicit information section on the discipline for students with disabilities, really taking pretty word for word from the DESE regulations and putting that right in so that there isn't any discrepancy in the handbook from that. And then changing the Alice information that was in there to the Run, Hide, Fight, which is the new program that we're moving towards for next year. And those were the changes.
I would just add that we also have an addendum. The high school is
Oh,
working
yes.
on an addendum, but we wanted a little more time to go over some of the content. And so we'll be sharing that with you when it gets closer to sort of where we need it to be before we share it publicly.
Well, first, thanks to the committee for this good work. It is not easy work to do a handbook, and so I appreciate the specificity and how thorough it is. And I appreciate your looking at my suggestions so quickly today. So, are there questions for Ms. Redlawn?
No, I have none. Good job. Just like you said, you know, I worked last year with the athletic handbook revisions, and, you know, six, 7 people, however many, you know, to get a consensus, everybody, you know, and, you know, agree to disagree, as you say, type of deal. But good, nice job. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Agreed.
So, are we ready to vote?
I am.
Yep.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve the handbook for school year 26-27 as presented tonight.
So moved. I mean, second.
Uh,
Little rusty.
all in favor?
Aye.
So motion by Mr. Noon, second by Mr. Oliver, 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just a quick question, are we gonna get to see that addendum for the?
You will,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Next on to the SEPAC annual survey results.
See, Mrs. Denicio is making her way to the podium. As you know, this is an annual survey, and that we update you on the results on a regular basis. And so Ms. Denicio is going to share the most recent survey that was done actually right toward the end of the school year, so.
Yeah, I believe at the end of April and May, which is a little bit later than usual. So this, just for a refresher, the Special Ed Parent Advisory Council, or SEPAC, is required under Mass General Law. Each district must establish a Parent Advisory Council on special education. Membership is offered to parents of students with disabilities, and they are charged with advising the school committee on matters that pertain to the education and safety of students with disabilities, which is what brings me here tonight. So like Dr. Saber McGuire said, the CPAC does an annual survey. This one was open for a shorter window than typical, so I think that impacted our response rate. There were 24 total responses, which represents about 2% of our families. In previous years, it was more like an 11 or 12, 10 or 11% response rate. So a little bit smaller, but we're still going to use the data that we have. The survey asks a variety of questions around families' experiences navigating special education services here in Dartmouth. Questions around bullying, and then potential topics for future CPAC meetings. So instead of going through every question, I sort of looked at the overall picture of the responses. Again, because there were so few, I just wanted to look at the data a little bit differently this year. So of the responders, 50% of the families had very positive feedback around their experiences here, around the referral and eligibility process, the clarity of reports and IEPs, and then that their parental concerns were addressed. So 50% were very high. Digging a little bit deeper, again, parents are satisfied that their concerns are being addressed during the IEP process and the IEP meetings. Evaluations are clear and easy to understand. That's super important. And our areas sort of growth are that follow-up communication and the 504 plan support. So the follow-up communication, what I sort of took that feedback to mean is that when something goes unresolved in a team meeting or a question arises, how quickly are we sort of closing that loop with families? So a little more work to do there. And then the 504 plan support was an area of concern. So the themes around that was the oversight between an IEP and a 504, right? And they're two different laws, they're two different processes, and there is more oversight around IEPs than there is around 504s. When you have an IEP, you have a liaison. That is your point of contact. So instead of having to contact 7 teachers at the high school, you generally contact that one special education teacher and you can have your concerns met. With a 504, it's a little bit more challenging to navigate that because there is no one point person. Our building admin oversees the 504s and that implementation, but there is no sort of liaison for that. So it's trickier for families for sure. And we as a district know that, and we're always looking on how to sort of more consistently and easily for the teachers implement these accommodations, because there are a number of students on 504 plans, and in a building like this, when you have 100 kids in front of you every day, you need to keep track of who needs what accommodation and, you know, are you providing it? So we're always looking at ways to sort of support teachers with that process. Areas of growth that were identified in the survey were timelines and consistency of practices. So in special ed, that's always our goal, and that's always a work in progress. I will say this year with the addition of the team facilitators, I feel like those are two of our strengths. But again, we're always looking for growth every year. And the final one was collaboration with families. So anytime an issue arises to the level of building administrator or district administrator, there's typically a level of disagreement or contention with the family, right? So we're not going to make things happy and good and all the time. But what we can do is just ensure that we're working collaboratively with families to ensure that kids are getting what they need. So again, work in progress, and something we're always looking to see how we can improve. I'm happy to report that the heart of our success is our staff. A repeated theme throughout the survey was how amazing our staff is. They're very responsive, they are very skilled, and there's a lot of positive family collaboration. So many kudos to them. And so my takeaways from this, more 504 training on accommodations and implementation fidelity, Look for opportunities to increase communication and partnerships with families and administration, so you're not always meeting when things are contentious, that you're meeting more regularly to sort of work out any bumps in the road and having those conversations more frequently. And some of the identified future SEPAC topics are around special education policy and procedure, social emotional programming, and then some autism-specific programming. And that is what the survey said.
Great, thank you again. Folks have questions? Go ahead, Mr. Oliver.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good to see you as always, Mrs. Dionisio. So I'm happy to see that it was shared, some families shared about the 504 consistency. As you know, my daughter was originally on an IEP that then transitioned over to a 504, and especially over at the middle school level and then at the high school, which her high school was New Bedford Vocational. There were certainly some concerns around that, not having that point person and having to follow up with each individual teacher about, implementing and making sure that that 504 is followed. So I'm happy to see that it's at the very least on your radar, in the district's radar, as to what we can do to try to tighten that up a little bit. But otherwise, overall, great success with the special education model here in Dartmouth. Parents overall seem happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would say,
Nothing, Mrs. Hammer?
No, I know. One thing I want to say is, thank you. For those that don't know, before Lori took over in her leadership position for the district, she was always a leader and a champion for parents, and often, if not always, volunteered her time or suggested ideas. As you all know, we used to do this incredible resource and craft fair annual. It was amazing, and she was always there at the raffle table, and we raised money for Unified Athletics. But you were always there above and beyond, and so we're really lucky to have you and Kim at the helm. And I guess my only question is, yes, this is a small sampling. Parents are surveyed out. It was a shorter time. It's understandable. Well, before I ask, I'll also say the district as a whole has had a tradition of taking the higher overarching themes that come out of this survey. That DESE wants to see this survey. They do, when they come do their monitoring, they want to speak to the SEPAC leadership to see, how does the district sort of engage with you for this purpose. And the district has always taken, the higher overarching themes and built them into planning for what improvement. And although this was a small sample, back to that, what did it align with, or were you surprised with what you came out as your takeaways for growth in terms of the 504 and the engagement piece?
Well, I'm so happy to say that it aligned perfectly with a PD that Kim and I and Ryan Shea just did at the secondary level for our strand, and it was around accommodation modification. And what we were doing, it was a great PD, if I am to say so myself. We're sort of discussing how it's impossible. It's impossible for a ninth grade history teacher to keep track of everything they need to do for every kid that's in front of them. So it has to be built into a system. So how do we build that into systems? How do we create lessons? And the teachers were able to workshop that across 5 sessions. So it was exactly in line with this. We just need to keep doing more of it.
Yeah.
Because that was, probably I would say 40 people, which is a great number, but it's not enough. So again, we just need to keep doing more of it. And then I think the communication piece is huge too, because that's always the question: how do you make yourself available so you're not just talking to people when things are bad, right? So how do we keep those open lines of communication, create opportunities for families to come and talk and see? I keep saying that our best PR is when families can come in and see their kids learning. And so how do we create those opportunities? And that's why Unified Athletics is the best thing we've got going here, but in the classroom as well. So I think that is certainly an area that I need to explore in this next year, but and the fact that was aligned with our strategic plan, it just sort of all falls into place. Yes, we know we have work to do, but we're sort of on the right path, so.
Yeah, you are on the right path. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Anyone
you.
else?
No, I'm good.
Great. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura.
From CPAC survey to surplus equipment. Mr. Kiley's going to talk about the list that we received that everyone should have
Yep.
been able to review.
Mhm.
Mr. Kiley?
Thank you. So you have a few things on the list that are no longer in use here in the Dartmouth Public Schools and are beyond their useful lives. So on the list are a Grove scissor lift that we know is pre the year 2000 and isn't operational. We have a Donaldson dust collector from 2001 that is not operational. We have a 2008 Ford Taurus that is currently not functioning, and lots of air purifiers from 2020, which we bought during the pandemic, which are just gradually just breaking down and not working. So we would recommend that you vote to declare these items surplus so that we can dispose of them according to the town's policy for doing so, which may include, I mean, we'd offer these things to other departments, but I don't think anybody's going to have any interest in any of these types of things. But eventually it'll get to the point where we'll auction them off and see if we can get someone to pay us a few bucks for them.
Scrap. Wow.
Any questions for Mr. Kiley?
Yeah.
Do we want to take them one by one or just vote all together?
We can take them all together. I can
All
vote.
together,
I'm
I
okay
think.
with all together.
Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the 4 items as presented by the Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations as surplus and allow him to dispose of these items.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Noon, second by Mr. Oliver. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the South Coast Educational Collaborative Quarterly Report. Dr. Saber McGuire is going to provide an overview for us.
Yes, excuse me. Included in your packet was the quarterly report for your review. As you know, just I think at the last meeting, you had appointed me as the representative to South Coast Educational Collaborative. And I wanted to just give you a chance to review the report that DESE recently completed related to the finances of the collaborative. Hopefully you saw that the review was really positive, with the collaborative meeting 9 of the 12 criteria that it reviewed. 2 areas were rated as partial and 1 not rated because DESE is actually revising its own guidance around that particular criteria. The report found that the collaborative is financially stable, there's strong cash flow, there's low debt, diverse revenue sources, there's transparency, and there are really strong internal controls. We have approximately 8 Dartmouth students who span multiple grade levels, K to 12, and we also work with South Coast on other things, like we might partner with them for some professional development that they'll come in and provide for some of our staff and faculty. We also might at some points we contract for outside services where they might come in. One example Mrs. Denisio did share with me is that we might have some staff from South Coast come support us, for example, a visually impaired student. So it's been a really strong partnership, and certainly the 3 years that I've been here, I know that we've been able to rely on them to come in and support us. And it's a partnership that I think supports the needs of Dartmouth students well.
Any questions? Discussion? Do we vote on it? No.
That's
Okay.
Just a report.
It's just me.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now to the superintendent's update.
Great. So last week, myself, Mrs. Paveo over there waving to me, she's like, you know who I am. And Dr. T-Bolt and I, we attended the MASS conference, the Superintendent's Conference, which is held on the Cape. I would definitely say we attended many sessions that are directly related to the work of the district. I would like to share with the committee that I was asked by MASS, specifically the folks that are involved in NISIP, which was the new the new superintendent induction program, which I'm proud to tell you that I have completed. So I'm no longer considered new, but I was really humbled that they asked me to come and speak to 3 cohorts for the folks that are involved in NISIP over the past years to really talk about our work related to our district retreats. And what ended up happening is I ended up talking a lot about our district strategic plan, which is really exciting to me because what it just makes you realize is just how much the district strategic plan is really driving the work of our schools. And I'd like you to know that I made specific reference to the committee's support of that district strategic plan and how you have all also integrated that language and can see the focus of the work of the school district. So I thank you for that. They were excited about it. And one of the things they mentioned to me, I should let you know, is that they might use our school committee meetings at some of their NISIP meetings going into next year to show folks or to demonstrate to them how we report out and how we connect our school committee meetings to our district strategic plan. So you might be on TV and outside of the community of Dartmouth.
You might get a few more ratings.
Oh my God.
You might.
Are we gonna need a,
Sign off
Sign a
on the
release?
media
no,
release?
not so much a release, what do, ball players have, an agent? Are
Oh,
we
yeah,
gonna need an
might need
agent
an
to,
agent. We might need
in
an
order
agent.
to make sure that
Yeah.
we get proper
Yes,
remuneration?
absolutely.
Okay,
We'll see if we can get any funding associated
okay,
with
that'd be great.
Yeah. But we also heard at the committee, we always hear from the commissioner, we hear from the Secretary of Education, they talk about the funding opportunities. Jim's going to talk more about that specifically. I'm sure you've heard that the governor has indicated that she is putting some more money, hopefully, toward public education. That will benefit us, but again, you'll hear more about that. And as I'm sure you know, the federal picture is always a little bit uncertain. But right now, we're feeling like Dartmouth is in a really good place. We were updated on some mandates that we'll be discussing with you at the August meeting, and that is related to timeout and seclusion regulation that's been passed. So we'll be bringing that before you at our August meeting because that policy needs to be in place at the start of the school year. So we'll be talking about policy subcommittee meeting. So additionally, I would tell you that a number of our principals are attending the principals conference this week. They're in Plymouth, and I think that that's a time for them to really come together away from the school district and from all accounts. Whenever they share some of their experiences, it's definitely something that I think does them well as they reset for the coming school year. So under teaching and learning, I know it's summer and it seems like what could we possibly have to talk about, but there is quite a bit going on under teaching and learning because this really is a time for us for planning and preparation for the upcoming school year. At the elementary level, that includes finalizing the professional development plan for year 2 now of CKLA, so we're really excited about that, and we're excited to see that now for the second year, our teachers will really hit the ground running, but that doesn't mean the professional learning stops. We know we need to continue to make sure that that's consistent and that we're still continuing to support teachers through implementation. And I know Mrs. Paveo is also working with staff and faculty out in the schools on scope and sequence and our assessment calendars. So all of that is still happening. We are beginning our work of math curriculum review, which you heard about at the last school committee meeting. So we'll be, as we did with CKLA, we'll be updating you on a regular basis as to where we are. We're unpacking survey data because, as you said, lots of surveys, and we did use the survey to get feedback from our teachers regarding professional development that was provided this past year. I think I've looked just generally at the survey data, and we are receiving quite a bit of positive feedback that we're at least headed in the right direction. One of the things that I think we heard from our teachers really clearly is that they wanted us to get back to the strands, and Katie and Ross did a great job leading that work. But remember, it wasn't just the two of them, it was the whole team. You heard Laurie talk about her opportunity to present. Kim Redlawn was out there. Jonathan, all of us had some part, but it wasn't just us. We also had our own staff and faculty presenting, and that's really important to tap into the folks that work here, your internal experts, and to give them an opportunity to share their expertise with one another. So the curriculum summit looked different this year because of the additional week of the school calendar. So if you remember, in the past, we did that at the end of the school year. School was out, but this time we shifted from 2 5-hour sessions to 5 2-hour sessions that were held after school. So about 30 educators worked across multiple teams. Dr. Thibault was working very directly with those teams, and the focus was on ESL, curriculum development, training for College Board, pre-AP chemistry course. Pre-AP chemistry is going to be piloted this coming year and build on the success of last year's pre-AP biology. So you can see, as part of our strategic plan, we're looking to give our high school students more, again, that goes to that voice and choice, but more opportunities to explore their interests. Our world language teachers from Dartmouth High School and Dartmouth Middle School work together on implementing their SOMOS, which is the Spanish curriculum, and middle school is still focused on implementation of the Open SciEd curriculum. So the work continues. There's never really any total stop to the work of teaching and learning. It happens throughout the entire summer. Teachers developed benchmark assessments, and mostly, though, what we want is to give teachers an opportunity to collaborate across grade levels and content areas, and that goes right back to district strategic planning around vertical and horizontal alignment. Our extended school year is underway, so we have approximately 150 students from pre-K through age 22 participating in programming at Dartmouth High School. And as you know, the extended school year provides an important continuity of services for our students throughout the summer. And this year, it will run until August 6th. So the high school is a very busy place. Also going on here is summer school and credit recovery. And that program is well underway. We have 83 students who are enrolled. You probably saw the sign when you were walking in where the classes were being held, but 11 different courses. And as you know, this is an important safety net for our students who need credit recovery and need to catch up, so that we can make sure that we're providing them those safety nets so that they are able to graduate and graduate with their class. So we're more than halfway through this year's summer school program. And then we have members of the Dartmouth High School robotics team and club have been leading multiple week-long robotics camps here. And that's for middle school students, and those camps are led by our DHS students, and they're supervised by Mr. Brodsky and Mr. Lauer. They are the advisors for the team, but what we love about that is that we're giving our students an opportunity not only to showcase their own talents, but to take on leadership in this area. And as you know, the robotics team is actually out in our elementary schools during the school year working with our students as well. So kindergarten enrollment, so we continue to update those numbers. As we've said all along, we will continue to update you. We're watching very closely. As of today, we have 193 completed registrations, with 13 that are still in the queue. At the DeMello School, we have 48 students who have completed all of the required registration documentation. At the Potter, we have 55, and at the Quinn School, we have 93. And as I said, we are going to continue to monitor certainly kindergarten enrollment in all of our schools, but we're keeping a close eye on what's happening at the Quinn. So as far as the as what we're doing as a team over the summer, as I said, we continue to work. This is a really important time of year for us, actually, in planning for the upcoming school year. For our central office leadership team, we actually held our 2-day retreat. I say that kind of laughingly because we did it on June 16th and 17th while school was still in session, because as you know, we believed that we would be school would be out June 11th. But we didn't want to push that time back because it impacts other plans for us. So we had it, I thank Mr. Galashoff for working with the library. We had our retreat this year. We had our, our retreat at the North Branch of the Dartmouth Library. And even though it's still in Dartmouth, it's still really important for us to be away from our offices and away from what I'm not calling them distractions, but it's about, you know, we need to be focused on planning for the coming year. And I think that we got a lot done, and what allows our team to, our small team of 7, to really work on our own collaboration and to reflect on where we are, where we were, where we are, and where we're going. And what that does in turn is we also updated our progress monitoring for our strategic plan, which will come back in the fall to present to you at a committee meeting. It also allows us to plan for our DLT retreat, and then so we have 3 days in August. July 28th, 29th, and 30th at UMass Dartmouth. And we do it on the earlier side, and the reason that we do that is because our school and district leaders have shared with us that as we get closer to the opening of school, that's where their minds are. So we really want to give them a chance to disconnect and then to connect with where we're going for the school year. So we're excited about that. Coming up so soon. It's been a busy summer, budget and capital improvement. I know Jim is going to talk in a little more detail about the many summer projects and capital improvement work taking place throughout the district. You're going to talk about the financial side of things, so I'm going to just turn it over to you to give an update on where we are.
Thank you, Dr. Saban-McGuire. So it certainly has been busy. I provided you with a fairly long list of some of the maintenance and improvement projects that we're working on this summer. I'm not going to read the whole list, but I'd like to highlight a few for you. At Dartmouth High School, we're working on the roof project schematic design. We're working with our MSBA representative along with our appointed designer and owner's project manager on that. We are working on HVAC controls and repairs here. Also, energy efficient lighting improvements. There's lots of boxes in the halls here. We're actually relamping every single classroom in this building in conjunction with utility incentive that is about to go away at the end of this year, so we're getting it in just in time. Parking lot repairs, that we haven't done them yet, but we need to do them. Tree trimming, dead tree removal. You'll see a bunch of trees unfortunately cut down that were dead. And landscape work here. At the Cushman School, we're going to pressure wash the front of the building. It's not the greatest look for a first impression in its current state, so we're going to take care of that. At the DeMello Schools, we're completing bathroom upgrades, energy efficient lighting improvements also there, HVAC work, some playground repairs, and painting. At the Potter School, we're completing also bathroom upgrades, energy efficient lighting improvements, HVAC work, some playground improvements, and painting. At Quinn, we're continuing to replace flooring in the building. We have a pretty major project going on as we speak over there. And we're working on also modernizing the HVAC controls over there in conjunction with Green Communities funds, grant funds. So you'll recall I've mentioned before that our control system for heating in that building is pretty antiquated. It's pneumatic air, little air tubes running around the building. So we're working on getting that in a more modern state anyway. And we'll be doing lots of painting over there as well. In addition to all that, routine and preventative maintenance in all of the buildings, looking at all our systems, making sure that they're in good shape for the start of school, and of course, cleaning the buildings, which is happening everywhere. I'd just like to say a word of thanks to John Bernat, our facilities team, and to all the custodians for their hard work so far this summer, and keep going. We got a little more than a month left, and we'll be all set and ready for kids.
Then I would just bring your attention to some things under HR, Human Resources. So we, as you know, because you see the job postings, we've done quite a bit of hiring this summer. At this point, I'm excited to tell you because I've met many of the folks that we're bringing on board, and we are attracting highly qualified people to join the Dartmouth Public Schools. At this point in time, at Dartmouth High School, and this isn't just certified staff, we've hired 10 people. At the Dartmouth Middle School, 4. At the Quinn, 2. At the DeMello, 6 new people. At the Potter, 6. At the Cushman, 3. Even though that's true, and remember, you'll meet them all in September. We'll invite them to the new teacher reception, and you'll have a chance to sort of put names to faces. But we still have some hiring left to do. We, at Central Office, we're in the process of hiring a new full-year secretary for the Office of Teaching and Learning. As you know, Karen Scorpio has stepped into Dale's position because Dale retired after long service here in Dartmouth. And at Dartmouth High School, we're still we're interviewing for guidance counselor, school psychologists, a physics chemistry teacher. If you know anybody with that certification, please send them our way. A math teacher, PE wellness teacher. One of our physical education teachers just accepted a job in another role in another school district. So we have another opening. And then instructional technology specialists at the high school. As you might know, we had Jessica Brittingham was here, and she has moved on to another role in another school district. She'll be working right alongside Mr. Galashaw and Mr. Oliver in their roles as IT folks. Easton, that's right. And importantly, we're also still advertising and hoping to recruit for an Atlas transition community coach. At Dartmouth Middle School, we have a couple of, in the other schools, we have just like fewer positions, and the DeMello and the Potter are fully staffed. So we'll keep you up to date on those things as well.
Can I ask a question regarding
course.
staffing? What do you find, I know that there's probably a certain metric that when Mr. Kiley's doing budgeting, that you put in a certain step and lane for new staff members. Do you find that the new staff members that you're hiring is it a mix of new teachers or new staff that are coming out of college? Is it senior people that we're looking, that we're unfortunately bringing in at a much higher step? I was just curious.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that we're leaning more toward hiring veteran people. We actually just hired somebody right out of college today, which was lovely to have her sit there and listen to how excited she is about joining the profession. Dr. Thomas came in with her. Oh, we do? Oh, good. Yes. Oh, that's right. That's true.
Okay.
So we're excited. Did you have anyone else? Did I miss any? No, yeah. But it's mostly veterans, but we have a few new ones, which is really fun. Yeah.
That's good.
Not that we're not excited to have veterans want to join the Dartmouth Public Schools, but
However, it
Happy
just
to have
shows
'em.
that there is a shortage of teachers.
But it was really fun to talk to a brand new 22-year-old person who is just thrilled beyond words to be starting her first teaching position.
Yeah, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah, it was really fun to talk with her. And as you know, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but we know that Mr. Mark Hayes took over. He's now the principal at Dartmouth Middle School, and I'm not sure if we had met after Jess Pratt, who was a teacher at the middle school, has now stepped into the role of associate principal at Dartmouth Middle School. So we're excited for the Dartmouth Middle School team.
That was after.
It was after.
That's
I
our
wasn't
last
sure what the timeline was. So I thought I'd mention it. We're excited to work with them in that capacity. I think they're going to be a really great team.
Just clicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the elementary school under family and community engagement, as you know, like this is a quiet time around family and community engagement, but at the same time, I always love reading the elementary principals, not that middle and high school aren't doing similar things, but how they're planning for things like welcoming their kindergarten, having their playground meetups, and so all of that is in the works. I can see it in the emails that they send out. And under safe and supportive schools, I just point back to updates that that I already shared with you tonight regarding what we're doing here for summer school and ESY. And you heard Mr. Redlawn talk about the student handbook. All of that is really in service of safe and supportive schools. And so that is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? John?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Mr. Kiley, and just looking at this list, the Quinn School, the generator installation, that's the new one that town meeting approved in June?
That's correct, Mr. Nunes.
Good.
So, yeah.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Anyone else?
No.
Okay, we'll move to my report. So we all got a letter from the town that Michael Shea has stepped down from the Greater New Bedford vocational school from their school committee. And so the town is looking for one of us to serve on the appointing committee for the person that will replace him. Is there any interest among any of us? And I know Mr. Oliver and I talked about it, and I don't have any information about how much time is involved or when. So.
Typically, I know you said it's, I don't know if we weren't doing it the right way or whatnot, but usually pretty quick.
Yeah.
The appointing?
The appointing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably one meeting, you think?
I would think
Okay.
so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Mr. Nunes?
yeah, I mean, if no one else is available or wants to do it, I'll gladly do it. I mean, I don't know if the town has put out requests for resumes, you know, for anyone that's involved, but you know, just in my opinion, this is something that's not going to happen till, for discussion purposes, September 1st.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is we're not meeting till the end of August now, type of deal, and we need to see the resumes of who's applied so that we as a committee can have a discussion. Because if my memory's any good, it's a representative of this committee, a representative of the Board of Selectmen, and a town moderator.
Okay.
So that's, you know, so we've got to see and, you know, come to a consensus
Okay.
as to who we would like to have.
Okay.
And hopefully, you know, everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
So that's my 2 cents on that.
Everyone
Yeah,
okay?
That sounds right. I would be okay as well if it was depending on the time.
Okay.
But if Mr. Nunes wants it,
No, this is not about me. You know that.
I know
you
that.
know,
No.
it's-
Why don't we communicate that Mr. Nunes will do it and Mr. Oliver will be back up if needed?
Sounds good.
How's that?
Mary
Okay.
Kim just saw something on the
Okay.
website, so if you want to.
Sure. Yep. The town did post on their website seeking applicants back in June. So
Okay, I missed
So-
it then, so,
hopefully they have a good pool of applicants. by
okay.
now.
I didn't see that. but
I hadn't
that-
seen it until
Yeah.
tonight. God
Do
bless
I
America.
communicate Mr. Nunes to the town or do you do it? Okay.
We can.
Great. We'll do it. All right. Also, Ms. Genthner is looking for emails from folks who want to attend the MASC conference in November. It's November 4th, 5th, and 6th this year. And remind me of the town it's in, because it's changed.
I think it's in Danvers.
Danvers.
So
Yeah.
it's North Shore.
North Shore.
Not sure, yeah. You can't get there from here. Yeah.
So let's say if you're interested, you email her by end of next week or end of this week? Before the next meeting.
You can sign me up now, Kate. Before I forget to
Yeah,
email.
likewise, Ms. Gunther.
I'm in too, Kate.
I am too, but I'll email you.
And the last thing is, we've asked for this a couple times. Topics for retreat. I know that Mr. Nunes has shared one, and I know I've added two things. One is kind of the role of subcommittees in reporting out at these meetings, and also clarification on consent agendas. So those two things, I'm interested in hearing from our mask representative.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Just we're not meeting till, Mr. Kiley, if you have warrants, let us know.
Oh, yes, we will.
No problem.
Right.
Can't
Anything?
think of anything right now,
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Madam Chair, but if
Thank
anything
you.
comes up.
All right.
Well, yeah.
And is there anything else anybody that we haven't put on the agenda wants to discuss or report out on?
No.
No? Mr. Nunes?
Nope, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
Great. All right. Our next regular meeting of the school committee is scheduled for Monday, August 31st at 5:30 p.m. right here. And with that,
And the band
this
will be
meeting
back.
is adjourned.
No, motion to adjourn.
Oh, motion to adjourn. Sorry.
So moved.
Second.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Motion by Mr. Noon, second by Mr. Oliver. Now I can gavel.